Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel.
Hope you have a wonderful day. In today's in today's video, we're going to talk about a scenario that was happening to one of our friends,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a rather interesting conversation that we
Yep.
had for dinner, and it might be relevant for anyone out there who is thinking about the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And when we had a chat with him, it's like, is it okay if we can use this content? It turned
Yep.
out to be yeah. I had consent on doing this. So yeah, without further ado, the scenario goes.
So our friend, he's 50 years old, and then he has one kid
Yep.
in primary school. And what happened is he bought a house that, and he still has $140,000 in the mortgage, but good enough, he got also close to 140,000 in the offset account. So because he know that we are investing in ETF quite a lot, so
Mhm.
he's thinking, should he pay off the mortgage or invest in ETF because his goal is to retire in 10 years. So what would you do?
Oh, there's a few more information though.
Yeah.
So there's also superannuation.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So with that superannuation, and you have to have a little bit of
Emergency fund.
emergency fund
Just in
because
case you need a new car
that's it.
because it is an accident. Sometimes your car's not working, sometimes it's too old, you gotta upgrade. But what he's looking for is nothing fancy, it's just like an inexpensive car.
So you want to do your way first, or you want me to go my way?
My way. Well, what I mentioned was you got quite a lot of money if you want to pay it off, but then sometimes when you once you paid it off, it is no tax deductible. I think is what's your approach. For us, our goal, we don't really care about tax deductible or our house is not earning income. We just don't want stress free. I think it's what's your goal and what make you comfortable. So for him, if you want to retire early, yes, you should start investing some in the ETF or whatever investment you understand. And then on the other hand, because you are thinking to retire early, how about contribute a bit more in your super? And then maybe if you have extra money, either leave it in the offset or or pay some off in the mortgage. I think he can't just pay it off at one hit because which means he's going to start from zero again.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is like self contribute, salary sacrifice
Mhm.
more into the super, and then maybe I'll split in. Well, that can be from his income, and then maybe 50% pay off the mortgage and 50% to invest in ETF or other sort of investments.
So because I think there's a lot of information out there.
Mm,
There's no right wrong way of doing this. So
mm-hmm.
it all depending on your comfort zone.
Yeah.
So with us, paying off a mortgage is probably financially doesn't make any sense.
No.
It doesn't.
No number won't work. Any financial advisor would not advise you, would not suggest you to do it because um, numbers game. If you pay off your mortgage, then you tighten up all your cash and your house is not. Well, you only appreciate the value when you sell it or refinance, which means going into debt again.
Yeah.
They will say, oh, your interest rate paying to the bank is only 6%. What if you put the money into the market? You may generate 8 to 10%.
Yeah.
At one stage, I was like that. We were having argument. Well, we don't have to pay it off. Just use the money to put it in the market.
Hmm.
But what if one day the investment in the market going down, and you lost your job?
Which what we learned during COVID.
Yeah, and then you lost your job, you don't have enough income to pay your minimum payment or the interest to the bank. What if you go foreclosure? There's a slim chance, but still, there is a chance.
Yeah, there's still a chance of that happening.
Mm,
For us, putting a big amount of money that we know that's like, hey, you could probably earn the difference, like you said, in the
mm.
market.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, yes, that's correct. But at the same time, it's like I've got this debt hanging around me.
I think also depends on what stage of life you're in because we have two young dependents. We cannot risk that anymore. If I were in my 20s, or maybe yes, I'll do it.
Hmm.
Mm,
And depending on your risk tolerance and
mm,
depending how comfortable you are. For me, I try not to have any debt at all. So it's a lot more makes sense for us to
yep.
actually decided to go to pay off the mortgage. So yes, there was a lot of different scenario that we could have taken,
Mm.
but it makes sense to us.
Yeah.
To us, it's like I can sleep at night, not worrying that tomorrow, if anything happened, example, another pandemic happened, I'm okay. I don't have any repayment.
Mm.
I lost my job. That's okay. I can still go by with my emergency fund, but I don't have this commitment of making a payment over
Yeah, every month or
every
every
month.
week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the fact that it gives me, or it gives us anyway, a freedom to do a lot more other things.
Yep.
Like for example, when we did our emergency or fixing up, did a renovation in our property, it went over budget.
Yep.
But because I'm okay because that's like I've already calculated certain number of risks. If we still have the mortgage on top of this, we probably well, I'll be a lot more stressful than what I am at the moment.
Yep.
So that's where that would be one of the paths that we suggested. Look, depending on your risk tolerance, if you're happy, then yeah, do that.
Yeah.
But for us, we pay off the mortgage.
Yeah.
The second part is like, okay, then maybe after paying off all of this mortgage, using the repayment that you used to be paying to the bank. Let's say, whatever the weekly repayment, monthly, fortnightly, whatever it is, the scheduled repayment.
Yep.
Use that and decide where they need to go. So maybe some of them goes to salary sacrifice. Oh, actually, yeah, salary sacrifice will probably do
From
it
the income.
from the
You
income.
have to do it no matter what.
And then
because he's still got 10 years to go.
Yeah.
10, 15 years to go to touch the pension, not pension, the super. So that if earlier he build up the super, the better.
Yeah. So the second part is like what that repayment is. You have the options to go through and buy managed fund, ETFs, or whatever platform that you wish to pursue, and do dollar cost averaging. So your repayment, instead of wasting it, you build your emergency fund, and then you also start, I guess, diversify your portfolio. Let's say.
Yeah.
So that's another option. So for us, there's no right or wrong way. It's just you gotta make that decision.
Yeah, and it's why you're doing it, the reason, your risk, what you understand, because what we invest in may not suit you. Maybe you into real estate, or maybe you're into Bitcoin. I don't know.
Yeah. Then we yes, the market does have a return sometimes more than what you make in payment to the bank. But if you're not comfortable having a loan, then pay off the loan. But if you're comfortable that you know for sure that there is risk involved, with us, it's just trying to minimize risk as much as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, because sometimes we don't want to take out our capital from the market. That's I think after a year or over investment, we were thinking, okay, should we take out some capital or should we not? But it feel like, oh, if we take it out, it feel like all our hard work's gone. We gotta start again. So I'd rather okay, I put some money aside to save my emergency fund or other thing that I need, and then whatever leftover I have, put it in investment. Because if I have to put all my money in investment, and then if I have to pay the bank for interest or repayment, and I take out the money and pay for the bank, I feel like all my capital is gone. It's just psychology way of thinking. It's mentally
So
thinking.
real life scenario, for example, right now our emergency fund is actually depleted. So we have to increase our emergency fund. There's one way. The easiest way is literally just take out a certain portion of our investment.
Yeah.
And just take it out. Yeah. Put it in cash. Put it in emergency fund.
And leave it there. Oh, we still have some investment, like an emergency fund, but it's just not at our optimal number.
So for some people it's 3 to 6 months. For some people it's a certain number of weeks. Whatever that is, your comfort zone. Our comfort zone is a certain number. Yeah. And because it's not in that level, we used to have that number hit or every week, and because we don't have that, I feel a bit like and it might take us a long time. And I feel like, okay, then why don't I just liquidate this certain section of the investment and put it in there? Yeah, that's another option. Yeah. So, and about having the realization of like, what is it, the goose that laid the golden eggs. realizing if I do that, I'm gonna kill the goose, and I
Yeah.
don't want to get that goose.
Because we've been invested for some time. The return is very like quite good already.
Mhm.
And then if we take it off and we start everything from the beginning, it feel like it's going back on crawling again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, once you run,
There's
you can.
nothing wrong with it, but it's just not our what we want to do. So we rather put more money aside to save in our into the emergency fund. But
Yeah.
in our friend's scenario, it's different because he got substantial cash already.
Yep.
So he can choose what to do. So see, cash is king. When you have money, you can choose what you want to do.
The
There's more options.
Yeah. Yeah. I think in the saying your dad said it.
Oh, I'm gonna
Uh,
give you option.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that was like money is power. It's like
Yeah.
cash is power. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, that makes sense now.
Yeah, give you more option because when we were one stage, we accept wealthy, but we didn't have any cash.
We get cash
So
flow
we
as
feel
a
like
wealthy.
we're working for the banks and we keep chasing. I'm sure if we still holding them, appreciate it a lot. But
Yeah.
could we hold it and without many arguments between us? Then you never know.
Yeah.
But just find an approach that it suits you or suits your partner together as a family.
And in the meantime, while you're making that decision, maybe double a little bit. Like just try it out. Look, over the next 3 months, 6 months, or at least 1 year, figure out, okay, then if I put small amount on here, and if I put, for example, a small amount on, let's say, the investing side, and a small amount on the paying off the mortgage, and a small amount, well, to do, I guess, emergency fund. Psychologically, how do you feel?
Yeah.
Like, give that time frame for you to adjust. How does it feel when you have an extra emergency fund? How does it feel for you when you put an investment and you're seeing this return? How do you feel when you put money in the mortgage and then
Have
realizing
less
debt, and your repayment now can be reduced if you want to, depending on your type of loan, on your mortgage repayment. How does it feel that you own a little bit more portion of your house? So make sure that you test that out and see how you feel. Like that psychologically will change and determine what you're going to do with this big lump sum.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's just our 2 cents. If you like this type of content, guys, don't forget to subscribe, comment.
See you next time.
Bye.